24/7 Fusion Media. Like the Buyer's Valhalla for Stone Cold Loki. Welcome special guest Pops from Talk Hard. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Comic Book Roundtable. Greetings, one and all, and welcome to the Comic Book Roundtable. I'm your host, Stone Loki, and with me today, of course, is my co-host, the Clobberin' Times himself. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Great to be here. And hello, my wonderful friends in the chat. Chris Persia, lovely Sherry, Louise, the expert, all those wonderful. We got ladies here. Leia, look at all those wonderful ladies here. And the dudes, I guess, are okay, too. Yeah. Chris Persia's the best, of course.
Chris Persia, the wrench of wrenches. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone out there doing? So good to see you all here in chat. We are back. This is the third Comic Book Roundtable since we've been back, and I would like to welcome our special guest for tonight, Pops from Talk Hard. How are you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm so blessed, my friend. Thanks for including me. It's been comic book day for me, so I'm loving life today, my friends. This has been incredible. Comic books all day today.
Opening up those X-Men comics.
Mm-hmm.
You got to tell Klobby about that. You got to tell Klobby about where you got those, because I know he's a fan of where you got those.
Yes. So we were at. let me get it all together here. We were at an Ollie's, and we saw the little bags.
Yeah,
$5 for $5, right?
They're not any good here anymore. They were great for the first year or so. I hope yours is still good.
Well, you just kind of have to
got rid of all their good stuff.
Yeah, you just never know. So I just had a whim to go over there and check it out. So I looked through the bag and I saw this on top.
Okay.
And I'm like,
wow.
all right, I'll do a 91 issue number 2 for that. So when you flip it over, this was on the back.
Get the bags. Wow.
This was on the back. So I had a number 1, number 2, and 1 back. So tonight I did a stream and we busted it open. Got this, I think it's a pretty modern book. I didn't look at the date on it. Judgment Day book. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just a free comic book day book. Yeah.
Yeah, free comic book day book. And then an uncanny reprint. So X-Men classic.
Yeah.
Reprints $195. And then, to my surprise, another number 1 in the same bag. So, yeah, I was pretty thrilled. And that one actually is in good condition.
They literally printed millions of that sucker.
Hey, listen, I'll take one though.
Yeah.
I haven't had one for a minte, so
it'll
be fun to bust those out and share with people. And we showed them ads and stuff too. We were I did on the stream. Cool. I just we were going through some of the ads and prices of comics and stuff. It was fun. I had a good time.
Absolutely, there. Nice.
Always is not like the old days. Yeah, well, definitely. I agree with you.
When it started out, Pops, it was we couldn't believe this place. Of course, it's not. They have this huge book section for those who are not familiar with the knowledge. If you have one near you, and they have, in addition to those those bag comics you're talking about, they have tons of trades and even some hardcovers. Now, a lot of them, they got rows thick with like one of the same one. Like it's just crazy. And and again, not a lot of it's more modern stuff, not to my liking. But as an old timer, once in a while, I would find something, and the prices are dirt cheap. A $20 or $30 trade paperback is $3. It's that crazy. And I have 2 unbelievable finds I've gotten at Ollie's over a couple of years, a year or 2 back. They were, unbelievable prices, and I did not think I would ever find them. And you always see people go like on the Facebook pages of some of the comic book groups saying, "Look what I found at Ollie's," and go, "Oh my God!" And I would rush right to Ollie's, and it wouldn't be there, of course. But everyone's different. But now they're kind of seem to be phasing some of that stuff out. But you never know. Every now and then you kind of just roll by there. It'll be something kind of esoteric that you know is not going to last there long, like the other stuff does. You know, I've gotten an omnibus there before. They've had Masterworks and Archives there sometimes.
Wow. So the two that I enjoyed the most, I got the hardcover Fables, the first 2 volumes of those. Those were like $5.99 a piece for the hardcover version. So those were nice.
Yeah.
And A Dark Knight Returns, and it was like a box set thing that came with a mask.
With the mask. Yep. $5 or something, right?
Yeah, it was like $6. And I wish I had bought more of them. They had like a whole bunch. And I should have just bought them for. Yeah, I thought for $5, whatever. So of course I wanted to reread Dark Knight Returns. I think I gave it to Mags because she didn't have it. I got to break her. She's one of my noob projects. I love getting new people into this, right? And I gave it to her. So yes.
See, now that I think about it, I wish I'd bought that so I could send it to Loki. He'd like that.
Speaking of masks, I got a Deathstroke mask and book combo at a Books A Million for like $5. It was in their their throwaway bin. And get it now or it's gone.
Went out of business probably, huh?
Yep.
But yeah.
You know, Books A Million, even though they went out of business, they do own a chain. I don't know if you're familiar with it, called Second and Charles. If any of you have any of those near you, go look for them. I don't know where you guys live. I mean, I don't know if there's anywhere in your neck of the woods, Logan. I don't know where you live, Pops, but in some places they still have some of those. And it's in smack in the middle. They have an actual comic shop inside it, quote unquote, where they have a bunch of comics, back issues, and even new stuff, and tons of toys and tons of trades. And they're all, none of your prices used to be better than that. But it's also a bunch of used books, a bunch of trade-in stuff, tons and tons of Blu-rays and DVDs that have been traded in, video games. It's the size of a Books A Million because they still own it. And it's just incredible. If you can find a Second and Charles near you.
You know what I miss? I miss, and you don't see them anymore because of the damn pandemic, half-price books. I used to get so much cool comic book stuff, D&D books, RP books, Star Trek stuff, all kinds of stuff, Star Wars at half-price books, and now they're just gone.
Was that a chain? It's like we didn't have those.
Yeah, it was a chain of trade-in. You could get you could get DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, but I never went in it for that because they always had either board game stuff, comic books, stuff like that. Nice. So that's why comics, RP stuff, all that stuff that just, I mean, people traded in, and a lot of it was in really good condition. I got a whole slew of hardback Star Wars books from there at one point in time, and you don't see, they're not around anymore. They're not there. It's like they closed 75% of their stores because nobody was going out and doing anything.
Well, I still have a Books A Million here in Tampa. So I need to spend some time making sure I do check it from time to time. Every time I've gone in there, though, recently, it's all modern stuff. And anything that I'd be interested in is hardback or it's real expensive and things like that. And what you're saying, Loki, I haven't seen stuff like that in a while. But I do recommend people going to shows for that. Like if you're a new reader, going to a show, it's a great way to get graphic novels and trades and stuff like that because people will have them for like, $5 to $8.
I love those. That really kind of started maybe about 6-7 years ago. I remember at Dragon Con one year. I think it was, I forgot the name of that company, but they did. I forgot what they were called now. But they had a huge, big area with a bunch of, like you just said, there were $5 trades, Masterworks for like $10, different things, archives and stuff like that, and just got a whole bunch of stuff. And then they stopped going. But then other cons seemed to start doing that. And so every time I would go to a decent, a con, I would find a table like that. It would have a bunch of cheap trades and I love those. So I love me some cheap trade paperback. I can go grab a ton of those suckers, $5-6 for a great trade that's reprinting some great classic. And of course, even a hardcover every now and then is cheap. But the best thing I ever got at Ollie's, Pops, was, I may have told you about this before, Loki, about a year or so ago. I go in there and I was looking for something that someone online had said came out, and it was a big, really big, giant book. And so it wasn't there. A friend of mine were walking around. It didn't show up. So I asked this lady who's working there, if you had any like really big like comic related books that came out, maybe that's in the back or something. So we do have one, but it's so big I haven't put it out yet. If you want to see it, and I was like, sure. I'm thinking it wouldn't be the same, and it wasn't the same book. What it was a $225 Captain America 75th anniversary vibranium edition, which weighs about 20 something pounds. You need a wheelbarrow to carry. It is about 2 or 3 feet tall. It's just in a big slipcase thingy, and it was $225 cover price. It was $40.
Yeah,
and,
wow!
I'll show my find. It's a very similar story.
It's not a coffee table book. It's a coffee table.
And my wife.
A book. And we went and walked outside, and I was telling my friend, said, I should have bought that, shouldn't I? He said, yep, I'm going to hate myself if I don't go back in there and buy it, right? Yep. So I did go get it. And you can't read that sucker, but it's so big. You can't lift it. But, man, it's amazing.
I almost got Cap Shield for $75. It was a end of the year sale. Wow. I didn't do it, and I've kicked myself ever since because you can't get that version anymore. You get the Falcon version of the Shield, and I don't want the Falcon version of the Shield. I want Cap's version of the Shield. But I did end up getting Stormbreaker, a full life-size version of Stormbreaker.
Nice.
So I did end up getting that. I could have got Mjolnir. But I didn't end up getting that either because that was full price. I wasn't going to pay full price. I think that was like $200. Nice. I was like, no.
There you go.
Holy, look at that.
It weighs like 40. I mean, it's got to weigh like 20, 25 pounds. It's insane.
That might be similar size to the one I'm talking about.
It was like $200 and something on eBay.
Yeah.
And it comes in a slipcover, like you said.
Yeah, it's insane. That's similar size for sure. I'm not sure which is bigger, but it's scary big.
It is hard to handle, but it's so amazing to check it out. Here's
the good thing about the cat book, by the way, is it had mostly great stuff and very few modern trash in it. Yeah, but that's a great book there, dude.
It's so cool. I had a friend that was really into Deadpool, and I guess he's just not interested. But yeah, it reprints everything. It reprints all sorts of stuff.
Probably all the beginning stuff. I mean, I'm not even a fan of the character, but I kind of like the movies a little bit. But a lot of people are big fans of that character. So I guess thing is about that book when it came out, and there was a Cat one, there was an Avengers one, and I guess now a Deadpool one. There was a Deadpool. Imagine the shipping on that sucker.
I was looking into that because I was going to send it to somebody as a gift.
If you ordered it from the comic shop,
I can't imagine.
Even if they gave you your like 20% discount or something, I mean, Jesus.
Look at how cool it is.
Like you need a U-Haul just to move it.
Oh, you know, wheelbarrow to carry that sucker around.
I'm telling you, man.
I mean,
it's something.
Omnibuses are bad enough.
I think it was $50 or $60. It was a little bit, but it was like I looked on eBay and it was running 200, 250.
You got that at an Ollie's or?
Yeah, that was an Ollie's.
That was an Ollie's. Well, see, yeah.
I almost got a Frank Miller. This is another one I didn't get that I kind of kicked myself for. It was a Dark Knight Returns Frank Miller omnibus, like what you were talking about, Clavi. It was huge, absolutely huge, and I was like, well, I can't put it up on my bookshelf. I might be able to, just leave it on the coffee table. But what the hell am I going to do with it? It's not like I can sit in the bathroom and read it,
right?
Or anything like that.
An absolute edition or something?
Yeah, it was huge. It was like the size of my desk.
Those absolute editions are pretty big too.
Yeah, it was like the size of my desk, and I was just like, no, I just can't. I think it was $250.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I didn't even know this was in there. This fell out. This is like a digital code.
Oh, there you go. Get the digital version.
I wonder if it'll let me. It's expired, but sometimes they still work.
Huh. Cool. Weird.
So Nicholas Glenn says, I just got done reading Batman vs. Predator 2 for the first time. Good little 4-issue story. I love the Versus series. I'm a huge versus. I love I thought the Marvel versus DC stuff was amazing. I love Predator versus Batman, Superman, Aliens versus. I just found out the other day there was an Aliens versus Superman. I've got to get that now.
Oh, I love AVP. I just can't get enough AVP.
We got to get on that and do that soon.
Yep. Yes, we do. We have to do the Batman versus Predator.
Indeed, sir.
Yes,
I have a lot of fun doing these old reviews of old comics. It's so much fun. What's up, Nicholas?
That's good. I've been scaling down a lot. That's why I ended up giving stuff to Mags. And I don't know if you guys know Megan over at Noob Reviews. I love watching her do her stuff. She's so enthusiastic.
I love her enthusiasm because she's just getting started. A young person like that seems like a real sweetheart, and she has a not only enthusiasm. It's rare when, well, not as rare as we probably think, but it seems rare that some of those a younger person that would look at the older stuff and not scoff at it like some do, and accept it and just see how great it is and love it and get excited about it because it's all the best up there. It's always heartening to see that, and I've seen some of her videos too. She's great.
She seems like she gets her appreciation is similar to ours, so she can read something older and appreciate it the same way we do, and then she'll see something new and she kind of scoffs at it the same way we do. It's almost like validation. Good. I feel like I'm being validated.
It is. You ought to get her on one of these days, Loki. I don't know if you know who she is, but she seems like a sweetheart. So,
yeah, I have her on. We've been going back and forth on each other's channels. We kind of had to miss a little bit stuff. I have her again on with me on the 22nd, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
She's open and she's open to any old stuff. It's again, at least certainly seems rare of her generation, especially since she didn't grow up reading comics. Maybe that's part of it. Because, like I say, if she'd been reading, because she's very, very young, so if she'd been reading comics starting at a very young formative age and reading the modern stuff of that day and now still reading it, I don't know if she'd be different, but she has not read comics, from what I understand, she said, until recently. Mm-hmm. And some of you have obviously given her good recommendations for the old stuff.
Yeah, so. She is really into Conan and Kroll. We turned her on. She's done great reviews on the Wolverine limited series, Death in the Family, Killing Joke. We've had great back and forth about Killing Joke. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely Alan Moore. She's on what she's been doing Watchmen.
Oh, wow.
And then she'll do some new stuff too. Like she did a Berserker. What else did she do that was really kind of fun? She has like some of these annuals, like the old Superman annuals that has 15 sub stories in them, those kinds of things.
Oh, those old 100-page giants, 80-page giants.
And then she's got those the little novelization ones where they reprinted them and they're like microscopic,
mm-hmm. they're like digests or the.
Yeah, so she has a Spider Woman that she's been doing. So she's a ball. Yeah, folks, if you haven't checked out Noob Reviews, it would be great to do that. So
she's great. She's
we've had there have been a lot of people talk about girls can't get into comics and girls have such a hard time getting into comics and girls are treated differently and yada 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 yada. Yeah. I tell you what, going into our local comic book store with Eris and her standing there looking at older comics, going, oh my God, look at this art. Look how beautiful this is done compared to the crap that is coming out today. I'm watching every guy in that comic book store hang their tongue out of their mouth like a dog that needs water. Bullshit. Women are treated horrible in comic book stores. Oh my God, I went into a comic book store and I was treated so badly because I was a woman. No, all the attention is there. And I'm watching this just going, my God, it's amazing how wrong these people have it. They want to act like, oh, they're not welcomed. My ass.
I think there's one of two things that always behind those stories. Either they were not hit on and they're mad, or they were hit on and they went in with an attitude that they were going to be hit on, but they were just going to be a complete B word about it. That's how I think it always goes. Because I've never, ever seen a woman being mistreated. And you guys can talk because you're nerds too. When my wife says or does anything nerdy, it's super, super hot. Sorry, ladies.
Love me a geek lady.
I tell you what,
girls.
She started singing the Flash theme song this one time. I told Ironcaster the story when it happened, and I was just like,
right,
wind me up.
That's my kryptonite, dude. When I meet a geek girl, meet a lovely lady who likes the geek stuff, and then we'll, because you got something to talk about, first of all, which is great. My kids would not exist if, and this was in the mid 80s now, would not exist without at least a few females being at a particular con where I met their mother. And she was one of like two or three of the only attractive women at the con, and there weren't many other females at all. And a lot of dorks were refusing to go talk to her. I said, well, you know what? You don't go talk to them. They're jerk off. I went and talked to a couple of them, and well, my kids exist because of one of them. We're not together anymore, but still, my kids exist. One of them, Jeanette Kahn, a woman, President DC back in the 80s. She did a good job. I have a lot of big time issues with Jeanette Kahn. I won't go into those here classic comics, but she did some things I like too. But I have some issues with her. But that's a good point. She did do a good job.
Well, there was tons of great creators from back in this era, like Marie Severance is this classic legend.
Oh my God, I love her.
She's an icon.
Is still alive.
Right. And I always point out, like, the original, they did the Catwoman solo series, and they did the mini series were women, and just like, Anne Nocente, and just there's so many great women that were in the business Simonson,
too. I mean, a lot of them. Well, see, the thing is, the jackasses doing most of the marketing for the big comics companies really did not market properly to women for the longest time, or to the girl. Now, granted, they were just going by what they were told. Only boys like comics. We all know that's not true. But we weren't the marketers; they were, and a lot of the comics were definitely skewed towards boys. Now, it's not entirely inaccurate, but it took a long time for them to take a chance on. They would frequently take chances on comics aimed at girls, and it didn't always pay off for them. But we live in a different time now, where that's not the case, and they somehow, some way, women started saying, "Hey, we love comics too," and we guys are certainly happy about it.
But I think one of the things that's changed, and Club, your insight would really be interesting in my theory here, is I think what used to be like indie comics and like indie movies as well, like this was film festival movies, like Love and Rockets type comic books, these type of things. Now they have bled them over, and they're inserting that type of approach and themes and messages and stories into the regular mainstream stuff, and they're cramming it into characters that already existed or stories that already existed. When it's always existed, it's just had its own lane, and now they crossed it all.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, before ladies were coming out being as big, more fan of comic books, before we really knew that, they were already out there loving Star Trek and Star Wars and Doctor Who and things like that. I mean, comics, like everything else, was kind of behind the curve on that stuff. But did you ever see the movie by Robert Meyer Burnett called Free Enterprise?
I have.
Yeah, well, there's that scene when he meets the super hot chick at the comic shop, and she's about to buy that Sandman graphic novel that he wanted. And they started arguing about it, and he said, "Look, I know that you may think that's really cool to buy that for your boyfriend or something, but I need that graphic novel." She says, "What makes you think I'm buying it for my boyfriend? Who is it for?" They said, "Nothing's none of your business, but it's mine." He says, "No, but you're a." She goes, "What? A girl?" He said, "Very observant of you." And they had basically, she named off a list of comics she buys that she loves, and she was a bona fide geek. Now, she's super cute too. And when you're watching that in 1998, you're going, I get that happened to me every day. However, since I've been to a lot of comic shops over the time, I have been in there when occasionally a lovely girl would come in there. And it was kind of a more rare situation in the 80s and the 90s. For sure. There's no question about that. But it's nothing now, though. That's over. Those times are over. You would think that it's not surprising anymore. If you walk into a comic shop and you see an attractive girl, it should not be a surprise anymore.
Yeah, and Sandman back in the day was a chick book. Let's be honest. I enjoyed it. I liked it, but it wasn't mainstream superhero capes and stuff like that. So there were a lot of ladies that liked that kind of stuff. But once cosplaying become a thing, once cosplaying kind of exploded on the scene, and the ladies realized that was a cool thing for them to do, they can get attention, they can be part of things, they can be included. They realized they could be, inside the gates, and had the nerds given attention to them, then kind of all bets were off. That's what basically changed, in my opinion. So,
yep.
I don't know.
And I don't know. We've heard some things from people say that somehow the geek guys don't like the girls, or love comics and stuff. I don't know who. I've never met one.
I have no idea where that's coming
never
from.
Met a fellow geek guy that wasn't super excited if he'd see a lovely lady at a con or the comic shop. Now again, they used to complain about quote unquote. There was a while where was it some of the dealers would hire models and stuff to dress up like superheroes, and they were just there being paid to be there.
Models? You mean porn stars?
Well, it depends. I didn't want to say it. And
that's what they were.
They started complaining about these.
They were more out than in.
Well, they started complaining about these. They were complaining about these fake geek girls. I don't think I've ever met a fake geek girl.
Well,
I mean, they're fake people. They're phony people all over the place.
Yeah.
I met fake geek dudes, so maybe there are fake geek girls.
Yeah, well, that's even more common now than ever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So we love you.
My
ladies.
wife always said she used to teach the the girls groups at church and things like that. She said, "Listen, you marry a nerd, you know where he'll be on Friday or Saturday night. As long as you let him go to the shop on Wednesday. As long as you let him go to the shop on Wednesday, he'll be happy, and you'll know where he's at on Friday and Saturday night." And I'm like, "That's my lady right there. That's it. She knows. She knows."
That's right. And that's the same thing with gamers. Gamers are exactly the same way. You let your gamer guy go to the store on Tuesday for the new game release day. Let him pick something up. You know exactly where he will be and exactly where he will be sleeping Friday and Saturday night.
Yep.
And he might be up playing a game, but he won't go to bed.
But we're easy to negotiate with on that. Well, honey, take me to do this or get me this, and then you can just go do your thing. I don't really care. I'm going to go do this while you do that. I'm like, oh, this is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had friends who've made it work with ladies who aren't geeks, but they are and have found a way to make that work. But if you can have and that's fantastic. But if you can have a geek girl, guys, I'm too old to worry about that stuff anymore. But if you're young enough out there in the market, find you a geek girl. Go to a con somewhere if you can, comic shop, whatever.
I'll have to try that.
It'll so much fun.
I'll have to try that Southern Viking because I've been humming that theme for I don't know how long. It's so many, and again tonight because I was reading those stupid X-Men books and I started humming the song because I can't.
I'm binging that show right now.
Yes.
So in the middle, like in the Dark Phoenix Saga part of it right now, and so yeah, that song is way inside my head right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, Shinatsky says, if you've seen the 70s masquerade costume, tons of nudes, we lost something. One of the funnier pictures is couples going as Luke and Leia, then kissing.
Go look at those old Wendy Peeney pictures of her as with Frank Throne and with her as Red Sonja.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Yes.
Wendy Peeney of ElfQuest fame, by the way.
When did it become going to a convention and women flipping out because they're wearing something like, a Poison Ivy outfit or a Harley Quinn outfit or something? Women freaking out that you're looking at them for that. When did that happen? Because that, like you guys said, it was the attention. They were getting all this attention. They liked the attention. And now it's, oh my God, how dare you look at me? Man alert.
I still don't, but I never ever saw that, Loki. Even when I was covering, I've never seen it happen. I mean, I'm talking well into the Disney Marvel era. I've never seen it happen. I covered Star Wars Celebration as recently as The Last Jedi drop. I think that was at the Star Wars Celebration for that. So that's what, 2017. Yeah. And there's like people dressed as, women that are just, painted body paint. They barely have anything on. There was no, oh God, don't look at me. Like you're dressed like, there's like a room of slave Leias. Like I remember Daniel Logan, the guy that was the kid Boba Fett, and there'd be these photos of him with like 30 slave Leias. Right. I mean, it's just not a thing. I never ever saw all of this. It's just a Twitter. You call them the scissoring hens. It's manufactured by a bunch of people that want to get attention that don't, I guess, because I never ever see this. I never have. I've never seen people. Do you snicker? Do you look? People who are, but that's the same as regular life. It's no different than going to a Walmart. You see people who shouldn't be wearing that, but no one's making a scene at a freaking show. I've never seen it happen.
I went to Dragon Time, like somewhere in the early 90s till about 2016 with one miss because of a hurricane. I went to Dragon Con 20 some odd years straight. And that's con is dedicated. It's a cosplay con. You call it what you want. It's that. And it's gigantic. 100,000 whatever people it is, like over 6-something hotels downtown Atlanta, Labor Day weekend. And everybody goes there. And I've never once, and I've stopped girls with pictures of their costumes, even some good dudes if they had a cool costume, and they have some amazing imaginative costumes with that thing, and everybody wants to be seen and wants their picture taken there.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who's complaining about it now? If they're being harassed and stuff, I guess that I'm sure isolated incidents of harassment happen, and it sucks. And if you're doing that, you're a scumbag. But for the most part, if you're wearing the costume, you're not consenting to any kind of contact, but you are being seen in public.
I would just so I got to be honest. One of the things that early on, like I would say 2009 to 2000, maybe 12 or so, if I covered a con like that, one of the first things I would have to do is take all the cosplay photos I could do, try to get them into a slideshow and get them uploaded right away. Those were the biggest hit getters. Those were the things that got all the views. People wanted to showcase their dress, their costumes, their cosplay, and people online wanted to see it. It was huge for me. All this shaming stuff, I've never ever seen it. I really kid you not. I'm sure it exists. Never seen it.
Yeah, isolated incidents happen here and there, and then you got the people who live in the anecdotal and not in the real world or a world of context or nuance, and they go on to Twitter and they cause things like, for example, you'll see these lists of rules of some of these big cons with these treatises that say cosplay is not consent. Well, who said it was?
What are you
who
talking
said it
about?
was?
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Like, who's? I mean, obviously, if you have,
I see it on Twitter. I've never seen it in real life. Yeah.
If you want, I've seen it at some cons, like on signs. And if you want to put the sign where saying, "Look, be not," if you think you have to put these signs up at these cons, and they're only doing it because they're kowtowing to internet busybody pressure, it'll say stuff like, again, cosplay is not consent. Well, most people know that, jackass. I mean, sure, there can be some jerks that exist. Most of them aren't even really attending the con. You're basically conflating isolated incidents and just spreading it to everybody, accusing everyone of being that way, and it's just a shame. None of us here are downplaying bad things happening at the cons, but like I said, the majority of people going to the con are there to have a good time.
Second Orb 9 with $5 super chat says, coworker asked my ex, how do you know he ain't cheating? And his ex said, because I've seen him with more lust in his heart for a Harley chopper than any girl. Thank you so very much, Psycho Dwarf 9, for that $5 super chat. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla, and this one's just for you, brother. Skull!
Spartans! What is your profession?
Do you think the problem, because some people say, like this comment, problem is the Pratt Boys invaded the con space, that all of this became so mainstream because of shit like, what was that shitty ass show that you had? Bang Bang Theory.
That's the big culprit.
That everyone just decided, oh my God, we've got to get in on this. And do you think that's what happened? That it just got so, oh, well, everybody wants to be a part of this now, that you just got a whole bunch of douche. You got douche canoes on both sides of the aisle. So you got the crazy douche ass
canoe.
Yeah, oh yeah, douche canoes.
Douche canoe is a shirt. Is there not a shirt that says douche canoe? I want it. I'll buy it.
If there isn't, I'll make one.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Douche canoe. Hashtag douche canoe.
But that's on both sides. So you've got you've got guys that can be dicks, they can be douche canoes. But then you got these women that are like, how dare you look at me? How dare you have any thought of me? How dare? And it's the same thing with like D&D. I watched this damn documentary where this woman's sitting there going, me and my partner, who have been together for 2 years, we play D&D, and honestly, it's very outdated. This and this needs to change. I'm just getting introduced to things, but I can already see problems with this, and this, and the game has to change for me. And I'm going, and she even said, Klobby, that she would spit on the geeks playing this in high school. I spit on them when they were playing this, but now I'm playing it because my partner, and she kept saying partner. Her scissoring girlfriend, her scissoring head girlfriend, has introduced her to this, and now because of Big Bang Theory, it's oh my god, I've got to play D&D. But the game has to completely change for me. That's what's happened in comic books too. It's changed because it must change for the minority and the people that don't even buy it compared to the people that have spent so much money and so much time collecting.
These people are mentally ill. The problem is, it's much of the time, even though they are in the minority, they make a lot of Twitter noise. And unfortunately, some of the people that work for some of these companies that have the ability to make these changes are of their tiny minority ilk and are like them. Look at Marvel. That's what's running Marvel Comics right now. It's pretty much what's running DC. That's what's running Disney. I mean, on and on and on. They're not people out there in the mainstream that anybody really runs into on a regular basis, but they unfortunately they have influence on people that are just like them in power, and that's why you see it. I mean, you go to a con 9 times out of 10, everybody's just there to have a good time. Very few people. Now, some of those people do go to the cons as well, but again, they're not going to say anything in public that much because they only do it behind the confines of their computer screen.
Yeah, keyboard warriors, right? We're at the mercy of these gutless wonders that are running these companies that just roll over and fold up like a paper bag over all these little nitpicky complaints and whatever. These randos that say things. I remember covering the little Muslim Berkeley prep artist, comic book artist Alley. Lady who thinks that she was going to be threatened if she was going to be at a con if Frank Miller was going to be there because he wrote this book from Lord. 2010 or whatever. It's what? Just tell her no. You don't feel safe. I'm sorry, you don't have to come. That's what should have happened. No, what happened was they told Frank not to come.
It's
it's just so the gutless wonders at the top at Marvel and DC and all the rest. Because this is the thing I think Yo Boys X made a career off of, pointing out that. Will anyone have the cojones to ever fire Vita Ayala? Is anyone ever going to have the cojones to fire her? Because her books are unreadable. They are literally half the time there are pages that are incoherent. I have no idea what we're supposed to be looking at here. The editing is bad. The character will be faced this way, and then the other panel it'll be the opposite. There's it's not even edited properly. Until the Gutless Wonders wants to fix it, we're stuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I've never witnessed half this crap, by the way.
Yeah.
It's all on Twitter. In real life, I get none of it. None of it.
Remember what happened with Tony Harris all those years back?
That's old school reference. I thought we were going to go a Warren Ellis reference or something, but Tony Harris is even more.
Well, from what I understand about that whole thing is he was just talking about a certain individual woman. Some of those people that you were just talking about earlier about the girls that are paid to, that were getting paid to go to the cons, if you see what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't talking about all women or anything like that. He got ostracized.
Yep. And, generalized.
But yeah.
The correct way have told her not to go. Yeah, well, it wasn't for Sana Amanat. It's another one of the inklings.
When does that become when did that happen? You've got a huge influence, a huge influential person coming to a meetup, coming to a convention. You are paying this person, obviously. Come do this, and we're gonna get you paid. Whether that is them paying them directly, whether that is them making money off of signatures, whatever it is, these people are gonna make a crap load of money. Now you've got some weirdo. Some scissoring hen weirdo douche canoe out there that's oh my God, this person made me feel uncomfortable. We have canceled the appearance of blah, blah, blah because they made a woman feel uncomfortable.
I'm going to correct you. They didn't make her feel uncomfortable. The fact that he would be there when she got there would make her feel uncomfortable.
Of course. It's pathetic.
The con, this is before the con ever started. It's Frank freaking Miller. It's the Godfather. It's literally a guy that doesn't do a lot of cons anyway. It's like he's literally like the top of the guest list to go to the con. You know what I mean? It's literally like it was just an insane thing that this was happening. Yep. This was part of my introduction back into the YouTubing thing, was doing videos like, what is happening to my world where we're not letting Frank Miller go? Like, something is seriously wrong. That's when I went down. I'd already been down the rabbit hole a little bit, but it just kept getting deeper and wider.
Right. Yeah, a total nobody can stop, because of her fifis, a total nobody can stop a comic book legend who has been invited to a con, can get him kicked out of a con. It's insane. It's total.
No, we need it. I said I wish I had the money and the time. We would have this massive Florida convention, because Florida was always wide open. We didn't really have a lot of these rules and restrictions. The weather can be nice in the spring or something like that. Have all these people coming rolling up in here and having a good time, because they don't want you there. Come on down here. We'll do it. We'll flip together a convention. I'd love to get with EVS and stuff like that and figure it out. Have all of them come. Frank, they don't want you. What do you want, buddy? You come down here and hang out. You and Chuck and Graham and all these legends. Chris, did they try to cancel Chris Claremont? I know there was this back and forth, but they didn't really get there, because isn't he like paid not to write? He makes so much money on all this stuff. He doesn't really write, but he's kind of under. I don't know. There's some sort of weird Chris Claremont thing going on.
I think he just mostly does cons now. I know that, but
that's pretty much what they tried with Shatner. That's what they tried to do with Shatner. They tried to cancel Shatner every year, and he's just like, "Fuck you! I don't care. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. I'm gonna say whatever I want."
He's in the superior. He is in the supreme fuck you seat. No one can tell him this shit.
That's right.
The go F yourself money is up to you personally, and he's in that category of
he is. Please. A god amongst the. He is just a god among men when it comes to that stuff. No one can.
And that's what you need. We need to have a convention of that. That's what needs to happen. That's what needs to go on tour. It doesn't even need to be like one convention. We need to just have that group of people. Get this 50 celebrity group, creator group together, and they just go around, and that's what they do. And then the rest of the world, no, I'm sorry, you're not. We're good. We're booked. We're good. We got enough people coming. We don't need you people. You don't need Chip Zdarsky and Dan Slots that have blocked Pops on freaking Twitter. Something's seriously wrong with you if you blocked me.
I'm blocked as well. I'm honored.
I don't even curse on my channel. Like, what is wrong with these people? Like,
hashtag blame Loki. It's Loki's fault.
It's not you. I was blocked long before you, buddy. I never
even corresponded with him on Twitter. Was it Slot who blocks everybody with his block bots? And I got blocked, I guess, too. I used to correspond him on other things. But now he is just a Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm.
Ron
Mars.
Ron Mars. Another garbage.
Too. Yeah, they're crackpots.
Another garbage writer. Jerry Conway is another one. Bill Sienkiewicz really is too.
I don't even know if Jerry's. Well,
I don't know if he's blocking. He's just a jerk. No,
I don't know. Yeah, what was with Jerry Conway? Jerry Conway went off the deep end because it's the guy that co-created like the Punisher and stuff, and now suddenly he's Mr. Sensitivity. It's like, dude,
he's fine with them changing the emblem. Oh.
No, you need to go back to your office.
But he's a nut. He's a big time. He's a big crazy person. Just like he's another Slot or Mars or even Sienkiewicz and some of these guys. He's just like a lot of these guys. I might like their work, but
yes. Yes, Pop. Yes, Southern Viking. You've got something
that is it
special.
Right there.
Welcome to the Uncancelable.
I am writing that down. Uncancelable. Let's make that a
Come and see the Uncancelables one time only. Coming to a CD near you.
Nice.
I'm also writing down Douche Canoe, by the way. I think everything is going to go the way I think it will for a show that you don't watch, that I do and review every Thursday. And I have a scissoring hen in my thumbnail if it's going to go the way I think it goes. Just for you, buddy. Just for you. If we don't enjoy it along the road, what's the point of doing it?
I don't know what show you're referring to.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows it's bad. It's going to
be Muslim, bad. My uncle, let them block. Let them block everyone. Yeah. And when they don't have a paycheck and they're crying on social media and they can't get a job and oh my God, DC Comics fired me. And it's the end of the world for them. I'm gonna go, well shit. I didn't even know. Why? Because I've been blocked for like the past 3 years because you've had your head up your own ass when it comes to people that buy your product. So fuck you. I hope you starve.
if our reach is between the three of us, several thousand people, and we can't promote the crap that you're tweeting at us, tweeting about, then that's that many more customers you can't get. Not to mention us. We're in the prime phase of being able to spend money, and you don't want our business. So it's like, all right, fine, screw you, go pound sand. I'll spend on someone else. Yep. I got my stacks here I've been talking about all day today. So
there you go. Indeed.
So if anybody knows a good artist, what I need is I need a douchebag with two rubber hoses, one coming out of each arm, paddling a canoe. If you know how to do that, then I will make it.
Nelson say available.
I will make a shirt. Oh my god!
I love the fact that it's actually in, this actually is in a word. It's actually in, like, an Urban Dictionary thing. Yeah,
yes,
it is.
Douche canoe.
Okay.
Wow.
You never heard that? Heard someone say that before?
There are mugs.
There are mugs.
There's another one you can't share, which is even funnier. But so if you Google douche canoe and go to images, let me just say, people are trying to get in on with this, and we need to outdo them. They need to raise the bar. Oh my God, there it is right there. Oh, there it is. Holy cow, it's crazy. Yeah, we have some stuff we can work from, folks. If you need some schematics to help us out with this this concept, so yeah.
Judge me all you want. Keep the verdict to yourself. I like that. Sagador.
There you go. I like that.
That's great. The uncancelable tour. I like it. It's going to be our YouTuber thing, because we're like this next generation of YouTubers that have all bonded together and getting along, whatever. And, it's like the uncancelables, because we just don't care. Like, screw you people. I don't.
Deedishness. Yep.
So.
Can't listen to them.
No. Been canceled. Lost my channels. Lost my shows. Been there. Didn't get a t-shirt. Yeah. It's over. Next. Got something else to do. Don't care.
Oh dear.
As long as they don't upset the wife again. Boy, that's when it all goes awry. You upset her.
There you go.
They nicknamed her Mrs. Pops. Loki, were you on there when they called her Mrs. Pops?
Yes.
That was so funny. She's like, I could roll with that, I guess.
I just got an email for only $670. I could have a 1990 Universe Series 1 trading card box of 36 sealed packs.
Oh.
Only $670 plus shipping.
Wow.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to get out of it? But what are you going to get out of it? Because, I can get you a set for like $100 probably. And you might get a hologram or two. Like, it's like, I don't understand what people are trying to get with some of the sealed boxes. I think it would be fun. I do want a second camera, and I do want to do like pack breaks and stuff. I even thought about doing it as almost like a fundraiser, where you could just say, listen, you get a pack. This will be Loki's pack. He paid $5. $5. This will be Loki's pack. And this one goes to Clobber, and we'll open it up together though, and then I'll mail them to you or whatever. Fine. But if you think you're going to make money on some of this stuff, that's not. It's like the lottery. That's not how you do it.
I'm happy with sets myself.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to open the packs live on camera. Go through them and then make my set. Have a set. I want a whole set of phase 1 cards or whatever. I'm not looking at reselling. Hell, we were talking about
experience of making it yourself, though, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I want to open the packs like we used to. We were talking backstage about some 12-cent World's Finest comics that I just got. I'm not looking at reselling. I am most likely going to have them all slabbed, but I'm not looking at reselling. These are mine. I want to keep them. I might even frame one and put it in like a shadow box or something. Because I think they're great. I think they're absolutely great. I'm not looking at reselling card packs. I'm not looking at, oh my God, I've got to track down the whole hologram set and then try and sell them off for $1,000. I just want to open the packs, share that with people and be like, oh my God, look at this cool Spider-Man. Look at this cool Captain America. Look at this cool Iron Man, whatever. And have some fun with it and have a whole set. Oh, look, phase 1 set in my binder like I used to when I was a kid. Because that's the one thing I don't have. I don't have any of my cards. I had binders and binders and binders. I had people that were like, "Oh my God, you had the Wolverine Gold card," blah 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 blah, and I don't have any of that. That's all gone. I have no idea what happened to it. I have no idea where I lost it, but I at least have my comics, but I don't have my cards. So,
well,
I'm not looking at spending $700.
No, that's what. But that's the problem is people were trying to find those, like I said, those perfect versions to get graded. That's what happened during the pandemic, and it sucked up so much of the inventory of sealed. I'll call it sealed wax. They're not all wax packs, folks, so don't take me too literally there. But sealed wax become more limited, so the prices are nuts. I think you're going to pay, isn't it like probably $125 to $150 for like a Series 3 masterpiece or something? Like some of these are just like those are just a dime. When you open that box, you're going to get like 2 or 3 sets out of it. There's so many cards in a box, like it's crazy.
Yeah. And this is the cheaper of the sets. Most of the other sets like this, they're $900, $825, $1,000.
Yeah,
they want $1,000 for one sealed box.
Yeah, Series 1 is going to be a trick one if you want to bust it yourself, because you can get a set. I think I showed you my set. I set it aside. I actually said this is my. Did I show you this one? My He-Man's going to my long-term storage.
Nice.
I have a He-Man set, all the stickers and stuff. Yeah, it's in a little long-term storage. I don't do the binders anymore because it takes up so much more space.
I like those, but I don't have many, so I have been getting some of those binders, like when they did like a Silver Age Fantastic Four card set, and they did some like Bronze Age cards and Silver Age Avengers. I like getting the binders for those, which I've gotten some of those recently. Those are pretty cool.
But yeah, that's why I want the second camera, so I can kind of set up a little like, card breaking thing and experience it all or whatever, things like that. But yeah, some of the prices on it so much, I would almost have to figure out a way to kind of offset some of that cost, because I would love to open up some. I love Marvel Masterpiece cards. I just love it. I think it's just a great Fleer, early Fleer Ultra, like X-Men. Yeah. Beautiful cards, beautiful stuff.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm a card fanatic. Probably no more, especially from that 90s era when I was, because you had a shop, you were selling cards too. I can tell you can size up the packs on the Series 2, and you can tell which one has a hologram because they added a card instead of replacing a card. So if you take a Series 2 Marvel and you slide them next to each other, the one that's a little bit higher, there's two. I think there's 2 holograms per box.
Yeah, that Silver Surfer set was really nice too. The real the foily one or whatever. What was it? Mm-hmm. It was like a real sparkly one, whatever the hell it was. I still have a few of those. I don't have the whole set, but that's a nice one.
Yes. There should be a way we could have all of our nerd want lists. There's a Masterpiece Series 1993 Marvel Masterpiece. Does that say $500?
$500 for that one box.
My.
There is no way it's worth that kind of money. There's no cards in that worth having. The insert cards on that are generic. They're like the X-Men 2099 cards, I think. Double checking my brain. Pretty sure the bonus cards are.
That box isn't even mint.
It's just people trying to find what perfect card. There's no special cards in a 93 set. See, in the 1990 set, those are considered the rookie cards of those characters. So like the one on the right there that says 720, that's a Series 1 box. That's the one that they would all want, right?
Yeah,
so
this is the one they want me to pay $670 for.
Yeah, because the Stan Lee card, if you can get a Stan Lee card out of that box, and you can get it perfectly graded, probably even at a PSA 9 or 10, it's worth a ton of money. It's extremely rare. Stan Lee only had a few cards. He didn't have very many cards ever made of him, and that's his first one. Yeah, that 93 set, that's not 93. That was a 92 set. Sorry, I think I misspoke. Why? It's a 92 set. Yeah. That's still way overpriced for these. That's crazy money for sealed wax. Jeez, money.
I want $75 for this. And that's just a bid. That's a bid, so there's been 22 bids on it, so God knows how high it's going to go.
Which one is this one you're talking about?
This is the 1993 Marvel Masterpiece.
Scroll back up so I can see it again. I don't know, man. That's it. That's expensive, folks. Don't do that game. That's the lottery game. I mean, if you want to do it, because Loki wants the experience of doing it, just gonna have to wait it out, or maybe you can just do a few packs at a time. Maybe you can find packs cheaper.
Yeah,
You know, just
I
get somebody to buy
never
like
got a
5
box.
packs.
I always wanted to get a box, and the boxes were like $50. As a kid, you don't have that kind of money.
No.
My dad did not, even though he had comics when he was a kid, he was more like, you ain't wasting your money on comic books, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, so anytime I went to the comic book store and actually spent money, I had to hear about it the whole way home. Wasting your money, hard-earned money, going and doing this, and blah, blah. And yeah, so...
It's a supply and demand, guys. I really, so I went down that rabbit's hole to learn what the issue is. And I don't know if you're into, understanding how graded cards work, but grading cards, it's just different than comics. But on cards, on the sports side, obviously we're talking about big money in sports cards. They will, on the graded cards, they have, instead of calling it a census like we do for comics, they call it a pop report, a population report. So for them, these comic cards and stuff that are graded, they're very low in population. And when people realize that those 90s cards were extremely hard to find that nice, it caused the price to go bonkers because they all were interested now. How do they make a money on it? And they want to have cool stuff. I got to be honest. There are some of them that are legitimately like collectors, like, well, I get my PSA 10 Stan Lee card, I'll never sell it, or they'll wait for it to be $5,000 or whatever. So, and this trickled all the way through all of it. So I mean, Garbage Pail Kids. I actually have a pack of Garbage Pail Kids. Oh yeah, here we should open that up. We should open that up, Loki.
A pack? Come on, man.
Look at that.
Still in the pack.
That
Oh my
is
goodness.
crazy.
With gum. There's gum in it.
With
Gum in there.
Gum.
Oh yeah, the gum's in there, no question.
I don't know how much would it cost me to try to chew that gum. How much PayPal money y'all got?
Don't.
It still has a price tag of a nickel on it. Somebody was selling it for a nickel. I have no idea how I have it. It was just in this little box. This is the 7 Series Garbage Pail Kids with stickers. 5 stickers.
I bet you that gum's still good too.
It's probably rock hard like the one I did out of that football pack. I did a football pack from the 80s and it was like you could hear it pop. It was so hard.
Nice. Get any good players in there that I remember?
No, they were all
I
just
remember
crappy
all.
players.
Nah.
Yeah,
I still remember them probably. That's about how bad I am about NFL history. I remember names that no one else should. So yeah.
It was I still have a couple more. Here's one. This is what I opened.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
With the
Nice.
gum.
Gum's inside. Yep.
Cool. That'd be fun to see.
Yep.
Stuff. Except we get in trouble for talking sports ball here. You got to be.
I know that's weird to me because I'm good with both. I don't mind talking some. I just don't pretend that I know more than I do. So, and I'm like you, I'm probably an old school fan. You know, that 80s and 90s, and I'm into Jordan cards. Like people think I'm crazy. I'll talk comic books, and I'm like into. It's like all of your Jordan. Like Jordan is like this. There should not be. I told someone the other day they were talking about Jordan. I says, listen, there shouldn't be a Michael Jordan card that sells for less than $5. I don't care if there's like 10 million of them, and they're like a checklist card. He's just that big a deal. Something's wrong in the world if it's not. That's what I.
There was a sports collector's store in Branson, just down the mountain from where I was living.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in there, and I was asking him about, I forget what, I think it was asking about a Joe Montana jersey if they ever got anything like that. And it goes no, and I ended up talking to the guy. And I mentioned that I've still got my OG Michael Jordan Bulls jersey from right after they won the first championship.
Okay.
And I mean, it's in really good condition. I almost never wear it. I mean, it's in the closet, but it's in really good condition. He was like, it's got blah, blah, blah vintage tag on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, I'll give you $1,000 for it.
Wow.
And I said, you haven't even seen it yet. He goes, if it's in good condition, if it's not faded and torn up and it's got that tag on it, I'll give you $1,000 for it right now. Just go home and get it, and I'll have the money by the time you get back. And I was like, nah, no.
You know, the other things like that too. I heard about shoes. Shoes are the same way, right? People are into shoes, and like the original first so many years of the Jordan shoes are worth like thousands of dollars. And I'm like, this is so weird to me, but all I could think about was those things fell apart.
those shoes fell apart. You wore them out, like, and the toe was flapping, and you'd see people, oh, well, the sole just came right out of the shoe, and you're like, it's all I can remember is those shoes falling apart after wearing them for like a week.
Yep. Sports ball. We're gonna be in trouble. Yeah, it is definitely brittle in there. It's definitely brittle.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely would be brittle. Loki was teasing me because when I opened the other one, we were joking about chewing this. I said, "What for the right price?" And I think I lowballed the amount of money that I would ask for because I realized that it's that brittle. I'm not even sure it's humanly possible, so I'm going to have to like chug a bunch of my drink to try to get enough moisture to even try to chew it. It doesn't scare me though. It doesn't scare me.
Not worth it.
So.
Peter Bankman's fan site says, "I'd gum in the box of cards for Ghostbusters 2."
Mm-hmm.
I still have an unopened Tron box, Tron cards, from 1982.
I have Tron wax cards right there on the shelf. I've opened some of those on. I've opened some of those on.
Still have the box unopened.
That's awesome.
I've got some comics that are still in the
sealed ones.
The sealed ones, yeah, like Cable. I got a whole bunch of X-Men comics like that.
Oh yeah. The Extinction Agenda ones.
Sealed.
Yeah.
I've got some, obviously the Superman stuff. That I will never have graded. As soon as I found out, oh no, they don't leave it in those packages.
No, they do not. They open them right up. I was really talk about mixed feelings about that. That was a hard one for me to even like fathom that they open them like that. But I guess they have to validate everything like that, and that's the only way they can do it. But yeah, I just like, ooh. So yeah, don't get those graded. No. So yeah.
Okay, Pat S. What's up, dude?
What is up, Pat S? He says, "Sorry I'm late, gentlemen. Pops is a great addition to the round table. I approve." Thank you.
Indeed.
Well, I appreciate being invited, and it is a scheduling issue mostly because I'm very limited with when I have time. So, and I do have to admit, I jam as much as I can in my 3 days where I live, where there's high end cable connections.
Sure, I hear you.
I work amongst the city folk, then I go home to the country folks.
So, if you guys had to pick, because I know we're edging closer to the end of the show. If you guys had to pick just one, it's all you can pick. All you can pick is one comic book line. I think I know what Clobberins is going to be. I may be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I think I've got an idea. But tell us, if you could only pick one line, one storyline, one family, one whatever, what would it be, Clobby?
Pops? I was going to pop the guest go first. If you want to.
Pops.
But yeah.
Pops has a really hard time narrowing this down to one thing.
I want to clarify. I want to get some clarifications first. Are you talking about like the one a comic we love the most of all, or just you think a comic you would say is the greatest, most one that means to most of us?
Am I stranded on an island and I can carry one book? Do I get a short box? How's this work?
What's the deal? Like favorite series? What you got?
Here we go.
Okay, we'll say you've got one, you've got all the X-Men, or you've got all the Spider-Man, or you've got all the Batman, or you've got all the Superman, or whatever that entails, even some crossovers, as long as it has that
character in it.
Well, not just the character, but if it's like X-Men, you could have
a one
variety.
thing. In other words, like if it's X-Men, it's X-Men. If it's one thing, if it's Batman, it's Batman.
Yes.
I got
okay.
You. So when I say Batman, I get the Robin books too.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that's what I would choose. I'm a Batman guy through and through. Of my collection, 50% of it was Batman and 50% was everything else mixed. That's how much of a Batman collector I always have been. Always is. Yeah. Miller got me in. Miller's my gateway drug. I was in with Dark Knight Returns. Got me to Batman Year One. Got me down the rabbit hole. I know it crossed over with Alan Moore stuff because obviously Killing Joke. But the Batman stuff. I was in at the perfect era with that late 80s, early 90s stuff, and it was glorious. It was just wonderful. So yeah, all that. I love Legends of the Dark Knight. I love, even some of the newer stuff that Snyder did. Things like that. They're not terrible to me. I do enjoy some of them. Not necessarily New 52 stuff, but some of the other stuff. I can just read, you know, and then the rabbit's hole. I get to read Catwoman. I get to read some Robin by Chuck Dixon. I get to, yeah, I'm good. Joker stuff. Yeah. I'm a Batman. That would be my first.
All right. Give you a little more time here, Clubby. Your Muslim uncle with a $4.99 super chat says, when I hear GPK, I remember being bullied out of my Series 2 complete collection as a kid. Note to parents, don't let some random kid see your kid's collection. I'm assuming that's what you were going to say. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, your Muslim uncle, for that $4.99 super chat. You guys keep the fires of Valhalla burning bright. And speaking of burning, here we go. Let's burn down the village. Skull!
I almost feel bad for the Muslim uncle. Like maybe we should open these cards and give them to him. Your Muslim uncle, can you confirm you're in the States? Because I don't want to ship this crap overseas anymore. The prices on that have skyrocketed. I found that out the hard way. And I promised someone a comic book that went to Brazil. If you can confirm that you're in the U.S., if you want them, we'll open them up together, and then I'll mail them to you. You have to hit me up on Twitter, so I'm giving you your address. But you have to confirm in the chat. Make sure that make this worth Loki's time.
There you go. I guess you're right. I'm predictable. If I get to pick one title, I guess you're talking about, and a run or something like that, I would go with the Fantastic Four because they're my heart. I mean, I would limit it to the Kirby run, 102 issues, of course. So that's the Kirby run is the, when it comes to Fantastic Four, it's definitive. But since I'm allowed a little leeway, because I know, Pops went with a lot of Batman there. He didn't just cover one little section of it.
Oh, yeah.
I
was
would
clarifying. I would
go up to, unfortunately, back in the 90s, I had to sell my FF collection for a while there. I had a really horrible copy of number 1, and between 1 and 60 something, I had maybe 30 or 40 gaps, and it was working. After that solid run with all the annuals up to about 250. And then I cut it off because I got sick of Byrne later and what Byrne did later in his run. So I'll say the whole FF run up until issue number 2. I'm gonna cut it off at 255 or something, a little bit before Byrne started really sucking on the book. And what he did, of course, changing the costumes was crap, and when he put She-Hulk in there, like, was idiocy and all that crap. So I'll go with a definitive. That's what I'll pick right there. The little one long box will probably handle it. So if I'm allowed the one thing, but the Kirby run being the most important, but I still liked a lot of went on after him for a good while, of course.
Well, then, yeah, that's what you can have. It doesn't just have to be like a Kirby run.
Yeah, you can easily fit it into a long box.
Oh, yeah.
You can have it all, Club. You can have that foiled issue with the half-naked invisible woman on the cover. You're good, man. You're
that was so bad at that point. I tapped out when they kicked Ben out of the book, and I know it was editorial. It wasn't sorry Byrne, and Byrne put She-Hulk in there. I'm like, and that's bad enough that they changed the costumes, and the book was really getting bad, and it was still should be a crime for John Byrne to ink himself. Sorry, but what could I tell you? But yeah, that's what. So let me say it like I did before. I'll stop it at 250. How about that? So FF 1 to 50, all the annuals up until that point,
all right.
And I'm good. Nothing else matters. Even though that new book by Alex Ross of the FF that I just got this last week, Full Circle, is pretty good.
Good
and nice.
I've gotta say Superman.
Any particular era, or you want to go from
when I was a kid, I saw the Christopher Reeves movie. I think that was my first real exposure to Superman. By the way. Christopher Reeve.
I just had to mess with you, man. It was.
You always catch me on that because I always say Reeves. I don't know why I always say it's Christopher Reeves. I guess that's because
messing with you, brother. But it is. Yeah, you're good.
But and running around my house at like 2 years old, naked with a blanket around my neck, saying Superman, exemplifies the fact that I grew up loving this character.
Nothing wrong with that. He's the greatest.
If I had to pick, and Clobby's gonna hate this. Clobby's gonna absolutely hate this.
I know what you're gonna pick, and you know I don't hate you for it.
He knows what I'm gonna pick. If I had to pick a run, it's gonna be right before And for a while after he died, until they went with that whole electric green, blue, red, whatever Superman.
Oh
Yeah. Ice Capade Superman.
Ice Capade Superman. And that's because I had no appreciation for a character that I loved. I'd given up on DC. I'd stopped reading Batman. I'd stopped picking up Superman comics. And I was all like, oh, Wolverine's so badass. And Jean Grey and the X-Men and all this stuff. And then he died. DC had that wonderful idea, we're going to kill off Superman. And like I've always said, there's that kid in The Death of Superman that's like, oh, he's just a big Boy Scout. He'll be fine. Nothing under Superman. And he dies. And then that kid's like, I didn't appreciate him. I didn't appreciate having him here. And I'm like, oh my God, it's me. Fuck me. That's me. This kid, this teenager with attitude that runs his mouth about Superman, that's like, just a big Boy Scout. Nothing can happen to Superman. That's me. And they knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. They played everyone. That's probably why Klavi hates him so much. They played everybody. They did it on purpose. But you know what? It made me go, you know what? I didn't appreciate you while you were here. And I'm never going to do that again. And I've never stopped appreciating Superman. Even the crazy ass, stupid Man of Steel, Man of Stool, as Klavi calls it, the Man of Stool. I love the soundtrack to that movie. I hate what they did with Jonathan Kent. But even some of that I really liked. And
by the way, the mullet was almost as bad as the Ice Capades uniform, but continues.
Well, I love the fact that you excluded the John Byrne run, and he went for the John Byrne run. Like it starts with Byrne, it goes all the way through to Dan Jurgens, and I'm like, it's fun. You totally deleted John Byrne from your color. You're like, I can live with all that stuff.
Yes, I'm glad you. By the way, I'm glad you started there to Loki instead of the Byrne crap reboot, which I hate. So there you go.
And the mullet, what you have to understand about the mullet was
oh God,
he'd been in the fortress and he had no way to cut his hair. So he'd been in that power egg where the Eradicator was taking his powers away from him, using him to recharge his powers because he couldn't recharge with the sun. And he wakes up and he's got long hair. I get it, I get it.
It's the 90s, man.
It's the 90s. Yeah.
That's what really.
It's mullets.
Like everyone says, it was the 90s. No excuse. Ugh, it was terrible.
It was the 90s, bro.
But,
I think you just closetly love that cover of like Superman 82, 83 or so, where he's just got his hair's all long and everyone's flying around him.
I was actually glad they did the Ice Capades out with that because I could find something even worse than the mullet. But I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, that blue lightning nonsense. That was just crazy. I don't know what kind of crazy crack they were going for with all that.
And I watched what I watched. So me and Klobby do these animated reviews. These animated movie reviews. We got to do another one soon, and we're gonna do
Next one is
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Red Hood. So we're gonna do Red Hood. But I was watching Death of Superman, the recent one they did, not the one they did back in the early 2000s, but the recent one. And the fight with Doomsday, besides Doomsday using heat vision, which I did not like because we did not know he was a Kryptonian. In the beginning, we had no idea that this thing is a Kryptonian. He's like a Kryptonian Hulk. The more you beat the shit out of him, the worse, the meaner and stronger he gets. Besides that heat vision thing, I thought it was a good fight. I really did. I thought it was a good fight. I liked Lois throwing a rock at him and hitting him when he was about to kill Superman and changing his attention to her. And when he's about to kill Lois, Superman throws everything he has into that one punch and kills him, but dies himself. I really liked that. But I love that comic. I love that era of comics. So,
well, we're always
it'd have
good,
to be
bro.
Superman. It would have to be Superman.
There you go.
And I love the X-Men, guys. I love X-Men.
I think you secretly love Superman Reborn, and you just want to be glowing blue with lightning, Loki. Just what you really long for, right?
What shocked me about Pops, because we don't know each other that well, is that in the private chat he put that he would really want it to be Millie the model all of his entire run. That would be the ones he would, but he didn't want anyone to say so. I'm sorry to out you there, dude.
Just outed it all. Just throw it out there like that, Clobby. Way to go, buddy.
They do that to me all the time on my show, Pops. So it's about time I get to do it to somebody else.
Here you go.
And you know what? One thing before I end this conversation, before I end this part of the show, people who wanted a tougher, edgier Superman that got Eradicator Superman didn't like Eradicator Superman. The first thing Eradicator Superman did was kill a guy trying to force a woman in a washroom, like a laundry room, and people absolutely hated it. Why? Because he killed him. He killed him. Superman doesn't kill people. He grabs them and turns them in to the cops, and that's it. Superman, he's like Batman. The Batman doesn't kill, right, Clobby?
Exactly. Said by Jim Garden. That's exactly right. Now, occasionally Superman might take him to the Fortress of Solitude and chain him down and make him watch a Tom Cruise movie or something for torture. But other than that, he doesn't kill, which might be making him more of a villain. He puts him in the Phantom Zone with Tom Cruise.
Is it Cocktail, though? Because if you make you watch Cocktail, that is probably cruel and unusual. We probably do need to kryptonite the guy.
That could be it. He puts him like a special section of the Phantom Zone where Tom Cruise is there from, but that's just me. I'm the only one that hates Tom Cruise.
Coughlin's Law. No! Coughlin's Law, rule number 127. No! Help! Help! Yeah. We will not be watching Cocktail.
No. Hey, your Muslim uncle says he's in California, so I guess I'm gonna send him these Garbage Pail Kids. By the way, you have to send me your address through Twitter or something. So feel free to hit me up on there. So you gonna open these cards?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Garbage Pail Kids.
Let's do it. Let's make it big. Let's go for it.
Lord Thoth is here. Avon lives. Long live the Legion, brother.
Loki will have to clip this for me so I can put it on my channel in my little trading card sections. Here we go. We're going to. Nice. Here we go. All right.
That's crazy. Oh my goodness.
I know.
I bet it smells fun.
No, nothing really.
Nothing really.
Nothing really.
It's waxy.
Not really.
Well, the gum will smell. Maybe not though.
I don't know. So let's see.
Oh, it's all broke up to me.
Yeah, the gum's in pieces. It's rock hard. See, ready?
Don't do it, dude. Don't do it.
You really thinking I might? You're like, you're ready. See, we got Bruin Bruno.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Miles Smiles.
Aren't you glad you weren't young enough to buy those as a kid for yourself? Or maybe you were, Loki. I know I wasn't. But
I remember getting them. I don't remember how we got them. We got them. I don't know.
Pops, because you're pretty young too. So.
Yeah, Manny Heads. Shut Up Sherwin. And Haley Comet.
Oh, I had that. I had the Haley Comet one. I had the moon.
Puzzles on the back, of course. Oh, these have something else. What's on the back of these? Alias Live Mic. I don't know what that is. I don't remember these. I don't remember the backs being like this. Huh. There's two that are like that. There you go. Hopefully I can make your life a little better there, Muslim Uncle. You can replace a couple of your GPKs. So unless you guys PayPal me a fair amount of money, these pieces of gum are not going in my mouth. You guys got to buy me a microphone or something to get me to chew that gum. Yeah.
So I've got something here for Pops and Clobby.
Yeah, Mark's right. Clobby. Nick Weiser would eat that gum. Do not send it to Nick. I don't need him getting sick. He's my friend.
This is from Chris Persia.
Oh, boy. There we go. Now we're on the right track.
Chris Persia's
now we're on the right track.
Well done, Chris.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah, we have to
Persia,
figure out
brother.
the right shirt design here. Get it incorporated just right, and yeah, let her ride, let her go. That's fantastic.
Well done.
My
Chris
God.
Persia rocks.
Yeah, Chris, make sure you send me a copy of that photo. I'll incorporate it into a thumbnail or something. You know me, I don't have no shame. I will push that envelope. By the way, YouTube did flag Blazing Saddles, Loki, like we predicted.
Yeah.
The first segment was early on, like we knew. It was
On Toxic Tuesday, you mean?
No, we did a Blazing Saddles Talk Hard, right?
So
it got copyright struck, and the stream actually stopped working for a few minutes. Anyway, so the first flag, all I did was I trimmed 2 seconds. It was them talking. So it was when they are dressed like the white robed individuals.
Yes.
I trimmed 2 seconds of the audio playing, and that was fine. It worked through. So I went to the next segment, and in that segment, which was the dance sequence at the end of the movie with Dom DeLuise, and we're talking and pausing the whole time. So I disputed it. So we'll see what happens next. They'll probably just take a month to give it to me. That's what they normally do. Yeah, they're cowards. Fight, people. Fight.
Indeed.
But yeah, your Muslim uncle, please hit me up on Twitter. Send me your address. I'll throw them in the box for you next week. There you go. Congratulations. Trying to help you out.
Chris Persia never checked out the Garbage Pail Kids.
It was my sister who was really into these things. Well, to be honest, she was the one who really wanted them all the time. We'd get them, stuff like that. But yeah,
I was never allowed to have them. So the ones I did have, I kept hidden. Just God knows where they are now. Yeah. Probably in a dump somewhere or something.
My dad found these in a box of stuff. There's a whole bunch. There was a bunch of them that were loose in the box. And they're all like beat up. Like this one's all chipped up and it's like been wet. It's all funky feeling. A bunch of them in here. Like this one's all like it's all chewed up on the edge. This edge isn't flat. And there's this little box I've sitting here. They've just been sitting there. I don't know. I have stuff to go through.
Those cards would be canceled today. Too mean-spirited.
Yeah. That's why they're great. That's why they're great. Should mail them to one of the hens. Yeah, Big Bertha or something. So.
All right, guys. You guys got anything you want to promote before we get out of here?
Pops? Anything?
Tuesday nights, 5:30 Eastern time. We talk hard. We'll be doing Big Trouble in Little China, Loki's favorite. That'll be coming up on this Tuesday. The week after, we kind of talked about it only casually, but I did lock it in, Loki. I haven't told you yet. But Fifth Element. We talked about Fifth Element briefly.
Yes.
Fifth Element the week after that. Then I have a poll up on my YouTube channel for you to decide what is happening afterwards. So I put a couple choices there. 22nd is Noob Reviews. Wednesday will be Pops Talk. Yeah, that's what's on the books for the rest of September for now. We'll see what happens next.
All right, Fifth
Got a lot of
Chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken good.
Got to laugh in September, baby.
Yeah.
Kalavi, what do you got?
In a little over a half hour, I will be doing tonight's Wild Card Wednesday night, Clobber Times. That's 9 p.m. Central. And I don't know, just kind of winging it. Probably just a little open talk like I did the other night. Because that's what Wild Card Wednesday is sometimes. Is how all those topics I did last month is kind of just chilling it out a little bit. And then tomorrow night, of course, on the Clobby's Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark. It is, of course, tomorrow is Star Trek Day, celebrating only real Trek, 66 through 05, no fake stuff. As always, and we're going to do a little happy birthday to Star Trek, celebrating the real deal. And I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do yet, but because I'm lazy this week. But we will think of something, and so we'll have a lot of fun with that. And Saturday night Star Trek, as you know, buddy, what a great crowds we get in there, having so much fun. We're reviewing all of Real Trek, and we are now close to the middle of Deep Space Nine Season 2. 4 more episodes this week with my wonderful first officer, Raquel, and the great crew that we have so much fun with. And, so that's about it going on right now on the Clockwork Times. And I appreciate you having me here, buddy. And it was good meeting you, Pops. Good
it's been awesome. Thanks for getting us together, Loki. It's been a fun time. We can always talk. Chloe and I are cut from the same cloth, man.
I knew.
Everybody.
We're these OG comic shop people.
Yes,
That's
sir.
kind of like, I joked with Megan. Megan and I were talking about it on something. I said I'm like the flea market version of Gary. Because Gary had a store. Gary had a store for like 10 years. Like it was his livelihood. I had it as like a side job when I was in college at a flea market booth for like 4 years. So I had like a different, but it was all that same era, that all same passions, the love for these OGs. I listened to tons of your stuff, Clobby. I just, I never catch it live. But yeah, man, we are cut from the same cloth, my friend. Absolutely.
Appreciate it, my friend. Well, it's great to meet you, buddy.
I knew if you guys hadn't met before now, because I didn't know if you guys had done a stream together or not before now, but I knew that if you hadn't, after tonight, you guys would get along.
Well, I'm glad we have met. Absolutely. I appreciate that.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thank you to Pops and Clobbering Times. We should have 24/7 back next week.
All right.
He has been moving, but he's supposed to have internet this Saturday at his new place and should be done. So I'm hoping we will have him next week. That is the plan. But don't take anything. Don't take anything for
granted. You never know.
Granted, and maybe he will be here, maybe he won't. I don't know, but hopefully he will. Until then, stay great, be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter. Stay humble, and we'll catch you guys in the next comic book roundtable. Take care, everybody.
Indeed.
Take care, folks.
Good night, everybody.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.